Hi guys, today I'm here to do the 7 Deadly Sins of Reading tag, I believe it's called. So the first question is greed. What is your most expensive book and your least expensive book? For my least expensive book, I'm really bad at remembering prices, but I'm going to assume they would be any of the books that I got from Goodwill. And if I had to guess, it would probably be this book, The Invisible Man and The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. I believe this was 25 cents. The most expensive book, I'm guessing that would be any of my college textbooks, specifically the science ones. Those can be pretty expensive. I know easily over $100. There's actually a textbook that I want to get, which is an ornithology textbook, and that's over $100. I think it's like $116 or something. So yes, those are very pricey. The next one is Wrath. Which author do you have a love-hate relationship with? The only one I could think of was Orson Scott Card, who has written many books. He's most famous for his Enders series, which I love. With this author, it's more that I love his books, but not so much his attitude as a person, I guess. Number 3, Gluttony. What book have you deliciously devoured over and over again with no shame whatsoever? I don't usually reread books. The only books that I would think of that I would reread would be nonfiction books because they have so much information and you really have to reread them in order to retain the information very well. And other than that, books where it's a series and there's a new book that comes out and maybe I need to refresh my memory before I can read the next one. I've never really felt that urge to read a book over and over again, at least not in the same year. It's probably because I just feel like there's a lot of other books I want to get to. But I do have an answer to this question, don't worry, because all of that was true until I read this one book, which is The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle. This was a very unique reading experience because as soon as I finished the book, I wanted to read it again, which was really weird for me. I don't know why, I just really enjoyed it. I could see myself reading this book over and over again. Number 4 is Sloth. What book have you neglected reading due to laziness? For me, that would be the Earth Children series, and like a lot of people, The Lord of the Rings. I did read The Hobbit in middle school, I believe, and then we watched the animated movie. And I have seen all the movies for The Lord of the Rings, but I just haven't read them yet due to laziness. And also, from what I remember, writing is very descriptive and the pace can be slow at times. I tend to be kind of lazy with those sort of books. Okay, next question. Pride. What book do you most talk about in order to sound like an intellectual reader? I can't really say that I talk about a book in order to sound intelligent. I don't try to portray myself in an unrealistic light or anything like that. I do have a lot of pride in the fact that I enjoy reading nonfiction books, science books, and that I do have a love for learning about the world. I'm very passionate in that way, and I am proud of that. Lust. What attributes do you find most attractive in male or female characters? I'm not really judgmental when it comes to characters because I like them to have different personalities because I think that's more realistic to how the world is. But for attributes that I'm attracted to, that would be someone who is intelligent, loyal, forgiving, caring, not too shallow or judgmental. I like them to be mature, but still have a sense of humor. These apply to both male and female, but as for guys, I like them to be imperfect rather than the pretty boy. And I like them to have manly qualities, not so boyish, I guess. You know, if they have a little bit of facial hair going on, that helps, not gonna lie. And the last one is envy. What book would you most like to receive as a gift? I do have a really long wish list, so anything really would be awesome because I just love books in general. But if I had to choose, I would probably say some Margaret Atwood books like Bluebeard's Egg, Wilderness Tips, Surfacing, and Cat's Eye. Books 2 through 4 in the Tiger Saga, I really want those. Insurgent, I'm always very envious when I see that in people's videos. And any Stephen Jay Gould book. I've always wanted to read one of those. Those were all the questions. If you want to do this tag and you haven't yet, I tag you. Thanks for watching, guys.